So the way you look so involved, I thought you were talking about somebody else. The one thing throughout the day, throughout the week, that have been emphasized is what we said on Monday. There's a difference between a manager and a leader. And we said one of the things that is critical about a leader, because he is called leader. He goes ahead, he looks ahead, and others follow. So one critical deliverable out of a leader is visionary. You cannot be a leader unless you are visionary, because where are you leading us to? You can be manager because managing things as they are. But if you are a leader, the emphasis is this is where we are, but this is not where we are staying. So when a pastor who is a leader takes over a congregation, the first 3 months is simply to try to understand where they are, who they are, why they are. Once the questions are answered, because you can't do that until you have given yourself a chance, they start asking, this is where we are. Where should we be? And if you truly are a leader, you have a better place from where they are to where they can be. Once that is now very clear about the vision of that church, of that group, of that ministry into the future, then it will be very, very important that you understand it very well. And then you have to carry the people from what they are used to to where you are taking them. The trouble is, human beings resist change. So most of us, because we don't want trouble, we do not want to change. We leave people the way they are because we want peace. But then you are a manager, not a leader. If you are a leader, despite all the challenges of moving the group from where it is to where it should be, you will take the risk. And that's why this is one of the most important subjects you can deal with. As a leader, how do you move the group from where it is to where it should be? One of the things that people have that has helped, it's not very old, but has helped is preparation of an SP, strategic plan. How many pastors have strategic plans for their church? Hands up.
Pastors or any.
A strategic plan.
We have strategic plan for our church, but I'm not a pastor.
Oh, no, I'm only asking pastors. Yeah, pastors. Okay, so it's a very small minority. And there are 3 reasons why people don't prepare it. The first one, they don't even know what it is. So you can't ask somebody to have a strategic plan and he doesn't even know what it is because it's not taught in Bible school. Am I right? So how is anybody going to have a strategic plan when it is not even taught? You graduate and you have never heard of a strategic plan. So we can be blaming pastors, but we should be blaming the Bible school. Am I communicating? Yeah, because the work of a Bible school is to prepare people for the work they do after they graduate. Are we together? And some are even graduated in masters, but they have not been told about strategic planning and strategic management. So that's the first thing, and I don't even have enough time today to deal with it. And I think it was not even in our program. Yes. So even this program, I'm sure she's listening to me. As she makes the next one. So you now know how to prepare a strategic plan.
Yes.
So if next time I ask you, you should be telling me you have one. Okay. That's the first problem. The second problem, even people who know, is that because you do not want to fail, you don't plan. And because you don't plan, you actually fail. Did you hear the progression?
Yes.
Because you see, the moment you plan, everyone will know you have failed. So you told the church where you are going. 5 years later, you are still where you left. Hey, this pastor is a failure. So in order to avoid being called a failure, you actually don't plan. And the real reason you don't plan is because you do not want to be called a failure. You know, they say, aim at nothing, and you're 100% sure you hate it. You get the joke? If you aim at nothing. So if you don't have a strategic plan, you're a success. Because after all, you aimed at nothing. And you actually achieved it. So that's the second problem, why people don't have strategic plans. Because they do not want to actually know whether they did well or they did badly. They were like, again, that's a subject I don't know whether it was dealt with, is how to assess performance. Because there are many wrong ways of assessing performance. One of the wrong ways is at the end of the year. You say, did we perform well? Surely you did. You aimed at nothing and you actually you achieved it. So a good performance management system is determined at the beginning of the year. You say what you want to achieve, how you want to achieve it, how will you measure whether you have achieved or not? And most of the plans lack that last one. How to measure. So, for example, you say we shall preach. We are intending to preach. Now, how will you know you have preached at the end of the year? If you don't have a way of measuring, you are sure you succeeded, isn't it? And then the trouble normally comes between the supervisor, the bishop, and the pastor. The people says you did not achieve. Say, how do you know? I think so. Now, even the bishop does, because you never agreed on a measurement system at the beginning of the year. You just say, and you're there. He is singing for me. Now, you need to understand. You need to understand that you need a clarity on how to measure. But that whole issue can be a problem in strategic management. The final thing why people don't have strategic management is because it's a very expensive thing in terms of time and in terms of money. You don't write a plan in 2 days. It's a technical thing. Requires a lot of things you have to stop for you to do it. Now, if you are going to stop everything else, souls are dying. So why don't we preach? How can you spend time preparing a plan and souls are dying? That's what we used to say in the 70s about going to Bible school. How can you go to Bible school and souls are dying? So we started preaching without any training because souls are dying. So similarly, you can argue you don't have the time, you don't have the resources. It's a waste of resources. Because a good strategic plan cannot be made by somebody who attended 1 hour workshop or 2 hour workshop on how to prepare. So you are taught for 2 hours. Obviously, you don't qualify to write a strategic plan. In a university, it's a whole semester course on strategic management. So there's no way after one course. What one course achieves is for you to know what you don't know. So therefore, you are able to look for somebody who can help you. Since you know what it is you want, but you don't have the details, you have somebody else to help you to achieve it. And some of the people are actually members of your church. Because they are the ones writing a plan for their business. They are writing a plan for their place of employment, but in church they just sit back like they know nothing. So you don't even have to be talking about getting somebody far away. You can get people who are experts and are within your church. Change management, which we are discussing, only makes sense if you know where you are going. And our discussion now is, now that you know where you are going and how it compares with where you are now, change management is, how will you manage to change from here to there? Are we together? And that whole subject in change management especially comes in what is called transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is a leadership where you are intending the place not to be the way you found it. You expect a lot of changes within your period. If you are given a 5-year contract, people look at it and do not even recognize what is there after 5 years. But if you're the type that wants everything held constant, ceteris paribus, without any changes, then chances are there'll be nothing to change, and there's no need for discussing the whole issue about change management. So I hope in that introduction, I start making you understand that it's actually lack of being a responsible leader for you not to be clear how you see the church, or you see your business, or you see your family in 5 years. Should tell me, what is it you are expecting to have changed in 5 years? Most strategic plans are 5 years, but that's normally called media term. You can have a longer one, so that tells you exactly where you'll be even after you are dead yourself. You need to be clear where you want to go. Then you have a medium one, someone that is talking about what you achieve within your contract. Then you have a short-term one. Every year, you must have clarity on what you are planning. But all of them must be aligned. What you are doing in the year must help you to achieve what you are doing in 5 years, must help you to achieve the long-term one. Are we together? So change management then is how to manage the process from where you are to where the strategic intention is going to be. And my prayer is that if you don't hear anything else I say, that I will have caused you to want to have clarity on any business, any family that you lead, on that idea of creating a vision. And that will be, did you say it's obeying? Ready to obey. Okay, so we will look at how and why change happens. Now we understand why change. Forces of organizational change, if we look at it internal, then how to respond to change and how to manage change. And the whole process, we'll be looking at the whole process. Leading change is the heart of transformation of a person or a group of persons. Leading change really is an issue. Transformation requires change from an existing situation to a more desired situation that promises better life-embracing outcomes. The assumption is that you are not leading us to evil. You are not leading us to a worse place. You are leading us to something better. Change starts from within to without. Don't start wanting to change out there before you have the capacity to assimilate. Change leaders will initiate change. Change leadership designs and implement process for moving the new desired to the new desired outcome. We'll have to do this one. Now, I want, as usual, to involve people. I did not involve people in the middle. I went to the front and the back. Can you read what is on the wall, please?
In change leadership, we are encouraging African leaders to look at why change is needed, why they can lead change, and how they should lead change. That is a quote by Dr. Della Adebo, September 2011, an interview. Leading change is at the heart of transformational leadership. Leadership is all about change. It involves moving a group of thoughtful, concerned citizens from an existing set of circumstances to a more desired situation. The leader must be certain that the benefits of change outweigh the costs. To increase goal ownership, the leader builds capacity by creatively educating those who will benefit from the change.
Just before she goes on, have you heard you can carry out a change process that is so expensive, the benefit will be less? Don't just go to a country and see a change and come and bring it home. I still remember going for, I told you I used to work for Shell, and I was staying for a course that must be around 1991, for a course in London. I stayed there for 3 weeks, and we were talking about distribution and the new changes that are happening. I still remember going to some place in the south of England to a refinery. We talked about that years ago. To a refinery, and when we reached the gate, there was no human being in the depot at all. It was just alone. So the guy with us had a card. Swiped the card, the gate just opened. And we participants of the course just went inside. The gate closed behind us. After some time, some tankers came. The driver passed the thing, it was open. He went to the loading gantry. Again, he passed the thing and connected the loading hoses and just stood there. And the vehicle loaded. Then he stopped, he undid the thing, and he went back to the gate, did the card, and he left. Nobody was running that depot. It was running itself. That is years ago. And I said, how are you doing it? Say where he came from, the sales counter already passed onto his card like electronically the order. So when he does the card like this, the order will show what the machine now knows what is coming to the depot to take. Because the customers ordered, then there was somebody who did electronically and deciding this lorry will carry this tanker will carry that tanker will carry that. But nobody is talking to anybody else. Because even the customer just placed an order. Are we together? Then, when you come, since it's already, the computer knows what each compartment is supposed to carry. So it cannot load in compartment 2 more than the quantity that commander can take. So, and then, as he is moving from there, he is driving to a petrol station that has no human beings. The petrol stations, it's interesting that years later it has not happened in Kenya. But there are no human beings in the petrol station. The customer comes with a card, and you swipe your card, you fuel yourself, your own car, but the card already knows who you are. So once you finish, it will tell you how much, and debit your card in your bank account. And you drive away. In the meanwhile, it has updated the depot that you now have a certain space. It will trigger an order when your stocks goes low. Am I communicating? I thought that was in London. 2-3 years later, I went for another course in Finland, Helsinki. And I discovered exactly the same. The depots are running themselves. And I'm still a young man, but then I was a young visual manager. I came back to Kenya, very clear in my mind, I have no intention of implementing that idea. All my friends will be jobless. My argument, of course, I have to argue like a businessman. We are paid so little in Kenya, there's no need of replacing us. The labor is so expensive in Europe, no wonder they are looking for something else, isn't it? So the cost of implementing it outweigh the benefits. Am I communicating? So don't just hear that some people are doing something and then you go and copy. Find out for me what are the benefits. And if those benefits, are they worth the cost? Because change is a costly business. So will it be worth it? That's what you need to ask. So don't go to another church and see the way they do things. And then you tell yourself, I must do it the same way. What are the benefits to your church? And not just benefit in looking nice. Given your vision and objective, is that particular change going to help you to achieve your vision and objective? That's really what we are talking about. And that's that's why I stopped there, because a very, very important thing. Don't change should not be just for the sake of it. I'll be coming back to that, the last point.
How do organizations experience sustainable change? Organizational research has found that there are generally 8 stages for the process of leading change.
And we'll be looking at all the 8 processes. This one is for going back. Oh, so it's this one. How come it's not? Oh, yes. Okay, those are the 8 steps. You know, the first thing you want to change, after you have written a strategic plan, you create a sense of urgency. Because even if you can see where you want to go, you wonder, why can't my son Solomon achieve it? Assuming you are David. You know that's what I'm talking about? Yeah. So it is true we need a tempo, but not during your time, David. So you must, no change will happen. Given its cost, it will not happen until your team believes it's not only a good change, but it's required urgently. That's the first step. Second step, you must look a few people who agree with you. Don't try to convince everybody. So you must build a guiding coalition. People who are early adapters, who can easily agree with you. Meet them, agree with them. By the time you start rolling to others, you already have a team of like-minded people. Then, with that team, after 1 and 2, you have now got a team to clarify what your vision is. And get the vision right. Let everybody in the coalition team agree exactly how does the end look like. Number 4, communicate vision for buy-in. After 1 to 3 is only when you start talking to everybody else. Telling the whole church where you intend to go, why you intend to go there. And don't start until not just you have told them, but you get a buy-in. What's a buy-in? I told you, when they stop calling it the pastor's project, they start calling it that now they have a buy-in. Only then, remember all 1 to 4, you have done nothing yet. Is number 5, clear roadblocks and empower action. You look at all the barriers to stop you achieving, and then empower action. And you create short-term wins. If you tell them what they will get in 30 years, you must also check what can we win early. Because the quick wins are the ones that will give the energy for the long-term wins. And then number 7 means you keep at it. Don't give up until you make the change accurately stick. Now, last time I asked two people if you can be 3, it will be okay.
Can I ask a question?
Go right ahead.
2 questions. 1, thank you for the steps. Are they necessarily systematic? Can they overlap?
Can you hold that question until I go through the details?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because this is the main topic we are going to deal with. I want you to introduce it so that you can do the exercise. And then you'll come back and we go through the whole thing again. So, you can be 3 of you, can be 2 of you. The choice is yours. Give a story of a change you led in your organization, church, or family. Because we want, if I talk alone, I have already given you some ideas. But you want to hear from more facilitators. Because I'm not the only one who knows. So I know you have a story. We can't all share. We don't have enough time. Share with your neighbor. Are we together? Yes. They can be 2 or 3. Agree with them. Agree with them. But let me go to you either do that one. We don't have enough time. I'm giving you 7 minutes. So you either do number 1 or number 2. Number 2 says, give story of change projects you have been involved in. You know the first one, you are the leader. Are we together? If you choose the first one, you must talk about a change you led yourself. If you choose the second one, you are just involved. And what was the change meant to achieve? Give the before and after the picture. Since something that has happened, this is where we were, this is where we are afterwards. These are the benefits. Then you ask yourself, list the steps that were followed to be at the after level. And what were the challenges and how are they overcome? what was your particular role, since you are not the leader? What role did you play? What character and competence do you feel a good change leader needs? Because of that experience, if somebody is going to lead change, you should have this competence. Tell us what it is. Is the assignment clear?
Yes.
I did not say is it easy.